Well, if Corvini want a chance in this series, they're going to need to take this first map because in the past, Nexus have beat them on both Cash and Mirage are other two. So, lots on the line here for Budapest Corvini. I'm predicting a 2-0 in this series, as we're going to be seeing Inferno come to me next on the CT side. Nori Cosmi's going to start things off. 2 kills for him, 3 kills, 4 kills. Headshots are plenty. And BTN chimes in with 1 as well. A nice clean sweep for Nexus. A very quick clean sweep will net themselves the pistol.
Literally, what more could you want when you start a series? Like, straight up, you can't ask for anything better. Just cleaning a house like that in Banana, what a way to kick off this show. Nexus, they get themselves there first. Yeah, SMGs, the rifles, now they're hungry. Corvini, of course, going to try and respond. They're going for the force up straight away. But you've got to be cautious here if you're them. You can't just go for any sort of gung-ho play. You've got to be slow and tactical. And right now, that's something that's going to be more and more punishing for them. Nexus, they're going to try and take advantage of that and really just kind of press in on that wound.
You know, already just put Budapest Corvini getting ripped apart within the first round, and that's not the start that these guys on the T side really wanted. Give me a Tech-9 force by standard for the T's on the Budapest Corvini side. Next is going to take more passive angles with their rifles. They're going for a much more rifle-based buy rather than going for the SMG money farm. So that makes sense. You know, you use the FAMAS rather than the UMP, although the UMP is arguably the better weapon in this case. But you know, I see where they're coming from. It's just to try and get the power players into effect so they can just shut down Budapest Corvini and not allow this force buy to work, because there is a lot of risk when you go into these kind of rounds. So far, it will be starting things off nicely for the CT side of SXC. Just going to get himself 3 nice kills. Actually, a TK coming in from Foda instead. He gets himself SXC back. So 2 versus 3 situation. Favors Nexus. The retake will be on, however. It's going to be a bit of a difficult retake on the B side, but nothing they shouldn't be falling too much of a victim of. They're going to want to look for that M4, I think, is going to be the main key thing that will be their focus of mind. Good grenade damage will push Foda out of position from the back lines of the site. Color's got himself an M4, will line up 2. Only takes down 1, however. So Zero takes him out. It's now just down to Foda. Last man alive, 71 HP, getting closed in on UMP in his hands, however. Definitely doable for him, and indeed, you will hear the footsteps coming. Will peek out first, but Jaxi will take him down. It's going to be a second round on the board for the Nexus side.
Nice play from them, but at the same time, very costly play. Sure, they did whittle away at the Corvini side and eventually able to punish them and take the round, but not without a fair bit of loss, which I guess with Corvini going for that force up, it's not all that bad, but for the most part, you kind of do have to raise the concerns here and there. But Nexus losing that much, it's rough for their economy.
Yeah, so Stan Nika coming in from Budapest Corvini. Just the Deagles P250s out for the T side. Pretty standard stuff. I think this should just be an easy kill for easy round for Nexus, of course. 3-0 easy as Foda, last man alive, 1 versus 5. It's just nothing they can win. You know, this is just a standard round of conversion for the Nexus side. They'll get themselves the the standard pistol conversions, and now Budapest Corvini with a buy up of their own right to try. See if they can frag back, take a round finally in this matchup here. AWP in play for Color. And there is 4 AKs as well out for the Corvini side. 1 UMP, however, on the Nexus side. And this could be relatively interesting to see how Zera plays it out. Looking like it's a close range angle into the apartments area. Although RML's going to get past that pretty quickly, so already Budapest Corvini getting themselves a decent amount of lurk play. And RML going to see if we can try to prompt out the rotation coming in from the Nexus side. There are 3 players on the A site, with the bomb still held out back up towards top mid, not going for any particular commitment, although most of Budapest Corvini are held up in middle and in the Banana area. Meanwhile, on the A site, RML will finally take that first face and taking down the first player. It's a 5-on-4 immediately. Although still, once again, Budapest Corvini going for pick style play, going for, well, just the man advantage and just the momentum advantage for their side. The Bombers are committed to any other site. They've still got a 2-2 split on either particular aggressive angle. And then we'll try and slowly start to make their way in towards A site. Cosmin will peek out from Arch side, taking down 1, but Gibson's there for a quick trade. It's a 3 versus 3.
You're going to be nice and patient, playing around hay bales, of course. Molotov is going to go out on towards short just to try and deny any sort of push that has come in. Of course, it is all but a ruse, as Corvini dankens on a bit of a knife edge. Walking out, a run towards the B site, get themselves the pick as well. Foda, the man through the damage, as Twist is going to get the bomb down. Now that CT smoke going to be acting as an ever-pleasant gift, blocking anyone glancing in through those angles, especially the sneaky AWP one that Jaxi is trying to wield. That bomb is going to tick on away. Got to really up the pace right now if you're on the Nexus side. They've yet to find a pick. They're already in the 2v3, so a big disadvantage from them. And they're running out of time. BTN just kind of holding Banana, banking the idea that they push him. That isn't happening just yet, though. Hold on a second. Twist actually going for that quick, swift run. But Foda does get the trade, and that's just another problem. We take hold of Crossfire to be set up around, to be taken apart. Budapest Corvini, they get themselves their first on the board.
Great rifle round from Budapest Corvini, and I'm not just going to let Nexus run away with this one so easily. Especially with that AWP investment coming in, it seems like Nexus are going to start to be a little bit flaky on their economy side of things. 4-4s on the UMP will be brought up once again, and the most amount of money they got is on SXC with $1,400 on his side. Budapest Corvini also with a force buy as well. They did lose 3 players in the exchange, so this is reset potential for both sides. If Corvini manage to win this round, they'll even the scoreline up 3-3 most likely. Nexus do so, and they'll take themselves an even greater lead against this T side. I mean, we might be seeing a tactical pause coming in very, very quickly. But for now, Budapest Corvini will just start to make their way into the apps area and set up what looks to be an apps push onto the A site. Zelzera seemed to read on it. BDN's also got covering off the angle in towards middle area. I think he did spot out 2 players. Does tag one down at 23. Photo's pretty low, and BTN's just watching out for Twist. A minute to go for Budapest Corvini, and the CT seem like they've got a decent hold on this angle. It looks like they're going to be focusing their fire out towards the apps area, which is a good call. Most of the T-side force are in there. With 55 seconds left on the clock, it's going to actually be BTN getting a very nice angle. Takes the first, looks for his second, 22 HP. Finally, Twist comes through, trying to see if he can take down one, but it's going to be a 4 versus 4. He does get trading. Zelzera's there with 1. Foda comes back to a 3-on-3, picks up the bomb, and the health is so low for Budapest Corvini. It's still going to be Foda jumping down, drop shot onto Jaxi, takes him out of the action, and now a 2-man retake up for Nexus, a 1-man retake up for Nexus as Color takes down 1, and now Cosmin is on site itself to be dealing with 3 more T-side players. Actually a decent chance considering the health of Foda and of Color, 1 HP and 22 HP. Twist will be the main man of contention, but the bomb's ticking and Cosmin is running out of time here.
Takes the fight, wins the first, but as you say, time is of the essence. The Molotov as well going down on towards that really kind of starts to secure things for this T-Service. Color just going to hold the angle. Cosmin running towards that corner where he can try and secure that rifle and at least bring something into that 6th round, but from here on onward, this goes one way, goes towards those terrorists, and it does mean that Nexus, they start to lose that stronghold, the lead that they did try and build on up, as now their economy is going to be kind of a little bit loose aware. Not really too much they can do here, only that 1 rifle. They could try and drop it and build around that, but arguably, is it worth it? I don't really see it. Their economy right now is even, so even if Cosmin loses this rifle, puts them in a very strong kind of economic standpoint anyway. So for Corvini, they kind of start to build up here. They kind of want to run away with it. The flip side, Nexus, they just want to do as much damage as they physically can before getting back on their high horse and starting to reclaim these rounds. You can see by the way Corvini are playing, very, very riskless over towards Banana. Just small, sensible peaks trying to really maximize their efficiency in these takes. That means they don't lose a whole lot. It's kind of just the right way to play up against the CT side who want to do damage. They only get 1 pick before Foda picks off both of those heads, securing any sort of trades, as then they push CT. Nice and hungry, nice and rewarding. As Jaxi, the next to fall.
We're into a situation, this is pretty standard, I think. I don't think Nexus really had much of a chance in this round other than maybe putting the M4 into effect. And, you know, Cosmin did get 1 pick, but he went down way too quickly, and the rest of the CT side just fall around him. Pretty standard stuff. 2k for Twist, 2k for Foda, and 1 for RML in that round. And Budapest Corvini will even the scoreline up to 3-3. Nexus, economy is looking a little bit better than before. However, economy will be, utility will be fairly limited, especially when they get an AWP out on Jaxi. Only a smoke for him to work with, but full set of 5 smokes, flashbangs, grenade. Not that bad, although even then again, taking a look at the Budapest Corvini side, full sets for everybody. It's looking a lot better for this team, so execution potential is on the cards. And once again, they will try for this pick style play into the apps and into the banana area, hoping for the Nexus aggression to get the better of them. But Nexus haven't proven themselves to be a very aggressive team on Inferno. They haven't proven themselves to be a team willing to take those kind of aggressive fights. Although Cosmin does peek out, get dinked down at 62 HP. So there is that much at least. But so far, Budapest Corvini not finding themselves that man advantage that they really are trying to cinch onto at the moment. Here they are going to take themselves aggressive angles in towards middle. AWP on color will push up aggressive. Bombs still up towards top mid in T-spawn, but No commitment coming in from the T side. A minute to go. Still plenty of options to work with. Still plenty of room around this round.
All that's really happened here is that Nexus haven't given Budapest Corvini anything to play with. Nothing they can try and mold around of. No selective picks in this default that will prompt a call that says, all right, push here or push X, Y, and B. So instead, it is going to be them just kind of waiting for that play to happen. Unfortunately, it kind of gets reversed on them. BTN, here's the flash, peeks off the back of that, takes down RML, and it kind of leads to the flip side, the wrong direction, so to speak. Nexus, they're the ones with the advantage. There's no any sort of banana push well and truly forward. Sure, you can expend a bit of utility, but I think this is a pretty obvious take. Everyone kind of knows what's going on. No one wants to be in the same room and admit it, but we all know it's going to be this big push towards A. BTN certainly aware. The crossfire is being held as well. A lot of damage being done. As Foda is going to find a frag of his own, but not before Zell can trade it right back in action, leaving us in just this. A 1v3 with 8 seconds left. Budapest Corvini, you may have a plan, but you've been read like a book, and you do not hold the round advantage. You have one shot to take it, and you've just failed.
Yeah, that round fell apart for Budapest Corvini pretty quickly. They lost the first pick in the middle area, and then I don't know if you saw it on your side of things, Flakes, but over in when they tried to get on towards the B site, someone threw a smoke and it left a huge gap because it was thrown so awkwardly that it sent off to the right-hand side near the church area. So once the T side realized that they really messed up, they tried to rotate back to A site and gather it up. But like you said, you know, Nexus read onto this one so easily. They just knew exactly what was going on. And as a result, BTN rotated back in from Speedway, got himself into a good position to shut down the Art side push. And then after that, the T side just fell apart, left us in that 1 versus 3 that just, yeah, it was just a bit of a cluster in this case for the T side. Now, it will be force buys coming back in from both sides. Nexus have held on to their lead, of course. AWPs for Jaxi and Color as well for the T side. And once again, Budapest Corvini going to opt for this aggressive banana play. It seems to have worked out relatively well for them so far, but just hasn't been able to get themselves those round picks and round victories. Just those early first kills and first faces into the round. So I think they need to pull a little bit more out of the hat in this case, because Nexus, they realise that Budapest Corvini like to take those angles in the banana area, and they're playing more passive to try and counteract that. Meanwhile, Zell will peek out into the apps area on the A side to take down RML, but RML will get that first pick instead. So 50 seconds on the clock. Corvini, they have themselves a man advantage. Are they going to go for this B execution here?
Could certainly be worthwhile for them. They've got to place the idea that it still could be 2 players on the site, bear in mind though. That's going to a little bit of risk for them, as they are going to, of course, smoke off CT, then take the fights. Cosmin holding himself nice and tucked in. They do win one of them, but not before the other instantaneously gets traded. Cosmin over so low after that fight that it's going to be an easy trade to find. That CT smoke pretty damn bad, but Foda taking advantage of that as he just tags the way through it, knocking Jaxi down to 10 HP right on through. Nexus, I think they've accepted their fate. They've been forced away. That B-site pride under their arms, and it is going to be a round for Corvini traded right back on 4 for 4. And a very big impact here is now all they're doing is just trying to scrape for damage. BTA going for that last uppercut, trying to get the last say in this argument on towards RML. But not long before they can park it up on apps and still walk away with an AWP and 1 AK-47. But I mean, you have to think right now, if you are on the kind of that Budapest side, what can they actually do here, right? Because every single time they equalize the scoreline, they go 4 for 4. Their economy kind of gets left in a bit of an iffy spot. So no matter kind of the outcome of this next round, they better hope it's positive, otherwise they are going to be left yet again with kind of broken scraps.
Yeah, you're right. It needs to be better execution coming in from the Budapest Corvini side. Again, I go back to 2 rounds ago where they had that bit of miscoordination in towards the middle area and the B site itself, because if rounds keep carrying out in that kind of a way, then it means that, like you say, you know, Budapest Corvini will go and get themselves the even scoreline and then just lose it against the Nexus side. And this is the kind of round where you think that they'll be able to take advantage of that, they'll be able to take control of this economy and really hurt the CTs, but because they have themselves 3 M4s on AWP and a 5-7 versus the full AK and AWP buy from the Corvini side. But Nexus, they're changing up their entire game plan. They're trying to anticipate how Budapest Corvini are going to play this. You can see that Zal and BTN are playing close range in the apps area. Jax is there to back him up, and they're expecting Budapest Corvini to go peeking into this area. They're going to try and play off the aggression of the T side and take them down, get themselves that first pick. And so you know, there's a lot of potential for, like you say, Budapest Corvini to get seriously reset, but instead it's actually going to work out to their favor as RML and Twist get themselves 2 picks. Jackson going to come back with one of the AWP. Second flick, close range fight onto Gabeson. Gabeson's going to win it out and get the bomb back as well. Does get dropped. He's actually going to rely on his teammate to go ahead and pick it up instead. But Budapest Corvini, they have full control of the A site. Now the retake is on for Cosmin and SXE. 2 versus 3 situation for the Budapest Corvini side. One player coming in from arch side, one also setting himself up towards middle to come into short. Frodo's watching that angle, and they're going to be the first man to take that defensive, and it looks like SXE will take that fight right there. There's going to shoulder peek, try to see if he can prompt out the shot. Knows that Frodo's playing close range, will finally face and try to take the kill, but Frodo takes him down, so it's all Cosmin, 1 versus 3, looking for the first headshot onto Gabeson. It's a headshot he needs to find and start things off. Will find it, nicely done, but now the T side know exactly where he is. Smokes himself out to try and get himself out. Frodo not going to land the AWP shot, and time's running out, but there's a small gap in the smoke. Cosmin does get away anyway, so it will be a 5th round of Budapest Corvini. Awkward round, they do lose 3 players, but it is a round nonetheless that's on the board and takes on the lead at 5-4.
The thing is, though, we talked about their economy, but what mattered was the positive outcome, which they found. They found pretty damn well, too. You know, locking it into a 3v2 retake like that, I start to lose a lot of faith with Nexus when they are at those disadvantaged retakes, because both the map and the team combined. Now, going back to that economy kind of sentiment, but maybe they walked away with that round. If they had nothing, players that had literally nothing gained thousands of the bank. That's how their economy really works right now. So with all that said, rifles are being rebought, utilities being fully invested, and any sort of negative or doubt we almost had on their economy, it's kind of been plundered away. Nexus, they're the ones in the awkward spot. They're the ones trying to bring it back. But somehow they're the team with the decisive frag lead in this round, dinking away, claiming the life of the AWP player of color. They're holding the cards at a 4-for-2 with just USPs.
And these are the kinds of rounds where Nexus can be so scary. And again, Budapest Corvini just walking straight into the pistol freight train. This is Counter-Strike pistol offensive after all. And Nexus is making that Wrath be felt. It's a 4-on-2, like you say, a two-man disadvantage for the Corvini side. And Nexus are going to try to see if they can use his M4 as well to try and shut them down before the bomb even gets down on the board. They have got a defuse kit on SXE as well, so he's going to be the main power player now for the Nexus team. And there is 50 seconds on the clock for the Budapest side to make a move. 45 seconds now. Held up towards Banana and top mid. They're a little bit flustered. They don't really know where they want to go. They're kind of just like conferring with each other because, you know, where do you go after you face pistol play like that? You know, SXE's got himself 2 kills. Cosmin's going to get 1 as well. And oh, Budapest Corvini just look absolutely distraught right here. They've got an M4 they have to worry about, and SXE's got himself a good angle being covered off by the fountain. I don't think they expect this, and indeed RML does not. He gets taken down, and SXE gets the second as well with the M4. A quad kill for him in the round, doing absolute ridiculous work for Nexus. Brings the scoreline back at 5-5, and Budapest Corvini losing around that. Let's face it here, they really shouldn't have lost.
I've been quite patient to pay compliment to the Budapest Corvini side, and not without, but more with fair respect, to be honest, because I've seen the games they've played in the past, and they've been on those wacky journeys where it feels like they're in control, and it feels like they're the ones kind of just on the right side of life, but then they do that. And it's the same thing again for me. It's history repeating itself. During up against those USPs, it just really tarnishes everything they gained in those previous rounds, and it makes things go, all right, you know what, you're 5-5 on your T side, but who's really the winner in this situation? I give it to Nexus. You know, I kind of waited to really kind of just get behind them, and I felt like Budapest Corvini had started to really get the engine flowing. Pedal hit the floor, and rounds are starting to be claimed. Their economy was looking good, and things were peachy. And then they do that again.
Well, Budapest Corvini on the pistols now. He's trying to make their way in towards the A site, and look at BT, and he's got himself a hit again. He's going to try to use the grenade to his good favour. It's not going to get a little bit of damage. RML will take him down eventually. Now, it's just a pistol play from Jaxie, seeing what he can do. He takes himself 3 kills. All in all, Cosmi going to chime in with an AK of his own. That leaves Carlo 1 versus 3. And Budapest Corvini, damage done, but not the round that they were looking for. It was a force buy for all intents. Or was that a half buy? No, sorry, it was a half buy. My mistake, just upgraded pistols from the Corvini side. So that means they should be able to get themselves a full rifle buy up here. AWP AKs. Vice versa for Nexus as well, with the M4s in the mix as well. Actually, double op setup instead coming in from Nexus. My mistake. So Jaxie and SXE can see what they can do here. Trying to put into effect the double AWP setup, and Jaxie might have a good angle to try to shut this one down. Meanwhile, SXE going to get color as well, so a great start from the AWP players of Nexus, although they will try and back. Frodo going to get 1, BTN gets him back with a quick refrag. So now, just Twist and RML in a bit of a dire situation. 2 versus 4, AWP and AK in their hands. What can they do from this angle?
Don't really that much. T-side, Inferno, you kind of don't really pay the odds too much for a quick comeback like this. They do have a minute on the clock, so they can try and work a fair few angles, but don't see really too much light at the end of the tunnel here. The only kind of real shot they've got, you know, judging by the portion of the map they're currently trying to abuse, is if they get given that free peek in CT, and then the second follow-up frag comes in, or a trade on towards S6E, for example. That's probably their one out in this round, and even then the rotate will come in from the likes of BTN and such, and you start to already remove the idea of a win condition for this T side. They've decided, you know what, let's go towards mid. That's going to be our next avenue of attack. Is BTN going to hold nice and patient? This time the rotate doesn't have to happen because they're coming towards him. 35 seconds. What is the play? Corvini, they're running out of time.
Look at BT, he's got a perfect angle to shut down Twist. Just Corvini just not able to find themselves any particular ground to work with in that round. Absolutely shut down 7-5 against the CT side, and Nexus will put them back into dire straits here. Mac 10 Force coming in on Twist, but no Kevlar to back it up. Tech 9 armor for RML and upgraded pistols for everybody else on the Budapest Corvini side. This seems like it's going to be a standard quasi half buy from the T side. Just looking for whatever they can. Maybe that Mac 10 on Twist might be able to line up a couple of players, see if they can take them. Once again, the AWP is placed pretty nicely to take him down. First face, SXE will take down Twist. Molotov out just to shut them down, and Corvini will come on through. P250s will do their work, and indeed, they will be able to do it well. Foda's down at 18 HP. We'll still try and take the face, and RML will take the kill. So Bomb will at least go down on the B site. There's still a 2 versus 3 retake. AWP is still in the hands of Foda, and BTN is coming around the backhand side, see if he can take down RML. So a difficult round regardless for the Corvini side. If they wanted to get anything out of this round, I think they did get it with the bomb plant, but you know, I don't think a round victory is very likely here. 18 HP on Foda. RML's very, very close range angle, challenging onto the AWP. Jackson's going to take him down with a quick scope. Foda does trade him out, drop the AWP at least, and 2 players will stay alive for Nexus, so they take down the last and bring Nexus to 8-5.
I think one of the things you have to remember, though, is that although Nexus, they kind of work through things, they save the double up here, it's actually the scoreline that's very, very important, which this is much more reminiscent of a standard Inferno game right now. And with that said, having 5 rounds on your T side is a big win for you. You got to be very happy, I think, if you are kind of on the Budapest Corvini side, because they can still play for their 6th here, and very much the 7th as well. Wouldn't be completely off the table. So no matter what, I do think that, albeit Nexus, they're going to be pretty happy. I think both sides walk away from this one with a bit of a grin, going, you know what, we did our bit, and we got all we wanted out of it. Already some of the aggression comes in towards Banana as well. Frag Grenade and a Molotov both will combine to chalk up a whole lot of damage on towards their opposition. As Nexus going for a bit of an overlapping leap of aggression out the ramps right now, sending just one man and one man alone to take a whole lot of map control. BTN just waltzing through the backlines. Budapest Corvini, meanwhile, walking up through Banana, 1 core 5, ready to literally just spurt out with some very quick and uncontrollable aggression. It's a lot of energy for a 5-man cluster. It could work out for them, but it could also be very, very drastic and quickly fall apart.
Look at BTN's position. Budapest Corvini considering setting themselves up. Look, Cole doesn't even realise what's happening. He's going to get taken down, and just like that, SXE and Jackson come in with 2 other kills as well. And again, the whole thing falls apart for the Budapest Corvini side. BTN will go down eventually, but he's done his job. And that leaves Cosmin to just line up the last 2 and take them all out of the action. It has not gone well for Corvini. And it was all thanks to the aggression from BTN, and they just gave him a little bit too much than what he should have really deserved, and were too slow on the execution to the B site, allowed BTN to set up that kind of an angle, as well as like, the tag damage coming onto Color as well. Like the Nexus side just absolutely wrecked him in that round, and it's not a good way to go out here on your T side. A UMP for AKs in SXE will start things off great once again for the Nexus side, getting himself a second. The BTN also in apps, and again, Budapest Corvini just getting picked apart like the body parts of a fly to a human. 1 versus 5, Color last man. AWP will take him out, and all 5 players for Nexus will stay alive to end off the half, 10-5.
I think you got to be happy here, as I mentioned, just almost hinted at it just a few rounds ago. I think this is a positive outcome for both of these teams. The real test now, though, is going to be on Nexus. How much can they do on their T side? If they can live up again to what Budapest Corvini could also do on their T side, I think Nexus, you clearly give them the win. But if they start to struggle, if they can't deal with the idea of forcing that map control, playing with those sensible defaults, looking for those angles to exploit, much like you do on every other map, but in photo much more testing for it, then this is where that comeback mechanic comes in. Because 10-5, you can easily make this 10-10 and go 10-15, even being a counter-terrorist.
Now, the question is, will they actually be able to do it? Gonna be pistol round coming into play here. Foda with a defused kit. Kevlar for everybody else. And Gabeson will start things off nicely. Taking down the first spots out. Cosmine as well. Gonna see if he can try to land that headshot. He's missing all his shots. Just taking down 70 HP now. And Nexus will take control of the apps area. Two other players also pushing up towards Banana, see if they can try and pull some of the Corvini side away to try go towards B instead. But there are 3 on A side. No commitment from the bomb this time from Nexus, which makes a whole lot of sense. Do not let them drop that bomb, because that means you lose a pistol, and a pistol is not the kind of thing you want to lose here, especially as you enter the half like this. A little over a minute to go. They have lost 1 on the Nexus side, so Budapest Corvini, a much stronger showing in this pistol round for their CT side than he did on T. And now it looks like Nexus are ready to head in towards B here. Bomb on Cosmine. BTN with a smoke. Looks like he's going to smoke off the cross from CT, which makes sense. I'm going to see if they can try to take down the 2 players on B side. Corvini still got 3 on A as well, trying to see if he can pick him away. And now the P2K from RML, seeing what he can find. Absolutely nothing so far, although we Twister taking down 1. BTN comes in, and Cosmine going to take the second, so now the B side is open for business. A 3 versus 3 retake up for the Corvini side, and the bomb will go down.
Color gonna tap away with his USP, trying to force the headshot on towards BTN. Can't quite find it. Cosmine is gonna go for the aggressive push, but able to finally get through just the 1, but not before BTN can spring back into gear. His trusty P2000 doing so much for him as he connects a second on towards Foda to bring us full circle back to a situation that is gonna be winnable for the Nexus side as they take it 11-5 off the back of Zelzera, getting himself one hell of a headshot on towards Gabeson to end the journey there. And then the Budapest Corvini side as momentum sways to 1 clear team. And they are going to start to really build into this game now. 11-5 starts to turn a bit of a tail as the UMP's rifles certainly appear. Color is just the last man on that CT side to have any sort of weaponry here. The rest, those CZs and Deagles, not too pretty of a sight. There's already Color taking a bit of damage to a frag grenade that is meant on the idea of just showing that aggression. It's a very crazy peek down Banana. So punishing. Foda, nice little trade, sure. Nice little dink, in fact. But the frags going towards the T side are looking pretty damn sharp.
Horsepower, of course, from Budapest Corvini. This makes a whole lot of sense, but Nexus once again are picking them apart, and that last round came mostly down to great pistol play from BTN and the ball to peek out and try to take himself a triple kill with 4 HP on his side. It was beautifully done. Nets Nexus in 11th, and like you say, the advantage swings to 1 decisive team. Nexus within touching distance now. Conversion rounds go to their favor. They'll be up 13-5, and then after that, a rifle round with an eco will put themselves at map points here. And for Budapest Corvini, that would not be the result they're looking for. Like we said, we need to find a little bit more out of this Corvini side to bring them back into contention for this best of 3, because right now it is looking like to swing to the favor of Nexus now. 35 seconds or so on the clock for the T side to make a move. They're pushing on towards A side. They know where the last man is, so the bomb will go down eventually. But either way, the T side are just closing into the angle to try and take him out of the action. Twist goes falling. 3 players stay alive. 3 AK stay in play for Nexus. They take themselves the forced conversion now onto a full eco with the Corvini side.
This is again where it gets worrying, right? You've already really set the picture in motion, but I think I put the context behind it in that first half. The pistol on a 10-5 is pretty important, but then the follow-up rounds are also just as important. And we haven't really seen anything in those either. Gabeson probably doing the most impact we've seen from these pistols all game long there in terms of the USPs they're able to tap away and find 2. That's not a saving grace for the CT side, as they still get traded in the end. And sure, S6 is 3 HP, but Cosme, he's there in the backlines. Cutting off Photo while the bomb's going down on towards B. Nexus, they will get that round win. Now for Budapest, it's time to really see something with these rifles. Probably their 1 chance to save this game. That's a lot of pressure on these shoulders in map 1. You talked about it at the start of the series, and you said for Budapest Corvini, they need that first map because they've been slaughtered in that 2nd and 3rd. Well, right now, this first map is looking pretty rough. Are they actually able to pick it up? Who knows? Going very aggressive down Banana. Already going 2 for 2, but a big spray coming out from Twist. We're carrying the forward.
BTN's last man standing. Hello, good 2 picks. One onto Photo as well, and now he's the last man alive for Nexus. If he wins this 1v3, I will be impressed because Budapest Corvini seem to have shut it down so quickly and so aggressively on this T side, on the CT side. BTN bomb in his hands in towards the apps area. A lot of time to play with for both sides here, and Twist going to see if I can anticipate the B site hit. So BTN, where will he go? Will he try and read onto this? Will he go around to A site? Will he try and play in towards the undefended part of the map? 55 seconds still left for him. He's playing pretty cautiously. He really doesn't want to let this one go because he's got 9 HP, and a 14th round here for Nexus would be absolutely crushing to the Budapest Corvini side. Like I said, that rifle would mean an eco, and indeed it will actually go to the favour of the Budapest side. So a great round from them. The aggression works out to their favour. Will be a buyback coming in from the Nexus side. Jaxie's going to have to get dropped a weapon of some sort. He's only on $1,500. Indeed, it will be the AKs in play. Galil, I think, was dropped for Jaxie. No, he actually gets himself the AK instead. Zelzera is going to take the Galil. So 13-6 will be the scoreline. Budapest Corvini with another force bite of their own. AWP on colour. 2 UMPs, the M4s also on Gaveston and Twist. And then we'll just kind of hold back into more passive angles, looking for that pick style play, trying to see if they can punish the Corvini aggression again. That is kind of what cost them last time, and it would be great if they could try and shut it down this time around. It's going to be mostly presence towards the A site from this T side, but the Budapest Corvini with a 3-2 split favour of the A. A decent setup to counteract that if they do decide to push it. Foda is going to be a man that fakes first face, and a good flick from Cosmin will take him out of the action.
Yeah, quite the spicy one being brought to the table where they're just catching him off with the head. A nice little flick from the mouths will lead to an early frag for the Nexus side, but I guess they have to try and find a second here really to make use of that, as they haven't got really an entry, so to speak. It's just a quick pick that they weren't supposed to really be able to find. Now they have to go for a bit of a scrambling play out on towards the A site. That bomb's still very much down towards the back of mid though, which makes me feel like they're not committed at all, which with 45 seconds you'd like to see something build up, but they almost certainly have time to go for this quick B play. RML, nice adaptation, decides, you know what, hold on a second, something doesn't sit right with me here. I should probably rotate. And that's the best decision he could have made in this round, to be honest. As now the smoke's going to be lined up from this T side. They're going to go, of course, for CT, possibly construction as well, if they so choose to it. They're 2 very solid smokes at the end of the day. Spotting out RML is huge for them, as he just try and throw a bit of a reflex flash and a Molotov. A Molotov that is going to be bad as the cross comes out. The fight to be taken